Okay, this is video number 4, and it is going to be on choosing a practice chanter. Normal disclaimer, all the opinions on these videos are my own and not that of any other person, organization, band, or YouTube. I claim no expertise on any subject which might be contained in these videos other than that of my own experience. The purpose of these videos is to share what I've learned to date about playing the Highland bagpipes and drums. These videos are not a replacement for a competent instructor, which I cannot stress enough is required to properly learn to play the Highland bagpipes or drums. The viewer accepts all responsibility for the use of the material presented. Go Arkansas State University. Okay, practice chanter. First thing the needy piper is going to need is going to be the instructor, which is already a video on that. A tutor book, there's already a video on that. And at this stage, it's going to be the practice chanter itself. As in the tutor book, the simple answer to what practice chanter should I get is whatever your instructor tells you to do. So whatever your instructor, he or she, suggests, that's the one you need to get, and there's a reason for that. And actually there's multiple reasons for that. If you do not have an instructor at this point, please go back, watch the video on choosing an instructor, and find an instructor. And then you can come back and watch this one. That said, the practice chanter is something that you'll buy, one of the first things you'll buy, and you'll use it throughout your piping career. So you want to make sure you get a good one, get an appropriate one, and one that's going to last you. But don't overbuy. You don't have to spend $200 to get a sterling silver engraved African black wood, practice chanter. Get something that you're not afraid to keep with you all the time. Most of the ones nowadays are made out of a black plastic called Delrin, and you can get whole pipes made out of this. A few of them are actually made with the bottom part of it being a good quality wood, African black wood, cocobola, something of that nature, with the top being plastic. You do want the top being plastic no matter what the bottom is, because as you're blowing into this, you'll get a lot of moisture from your breath in there. It'll absorb that, and then it'll dry out, then absorb it and dry it, and eventually it'll crack. Plastic doesn't have that kind of a problem. One of the first ones you may see, and you may be tempted to get for mainly because of the price, is going to be either on some of these ethnic music online stores like Mideast Music, Lark in the Morning, or eBay. You may see something like this, and I'm just got an ad up here. Okay, the book that you see there is the R.T. Shepherd book and CD. That's a good book and CD. The practice chanter you see there is actually maybe at best novelty quality. In other words, not what you want to learn on. The things that will give it away is the white plastic mouthpiece at the top, the very light colored wood, which may be some kind of cheap rosewood or something of that nature. It's not oak, it's going to be rosewood or something of that nature. And the metal on it is decorative, but not really useful for anything. The workmanship on these tend to be rather poor. The chanter reeds that are with them, again, poor. I've seen them even fall apart. The holes are very small. You can't feel them. The scale is not true. In short, they may sell it for, especially with the book, as much as $40 or $50. It's worth about $5. The book is good, So if you spend $40 for this package, keep the book. Give the practice chanter to a 5-year-old or something like that. You want to be looking for name brand practice chanters, and name brands in the piping world are going to be Gibson, McCallum, Nail, Shepherd, Dunbar, and many others of that nature. Okay, a good practice chanter should start around $50 and can go up to however much you want to pay. They tend to come in two different lengths. They will come in a regular, and actually this one's a child, so it's even just a smidge shorter than that, and long. Long is going to be substantially longer. From a given manufacturer, the difference in sound between the regular and the long should not have hardly any difference at all. The only difference between them will be, if you notice, here's the holes on the long one. Then if I turn it to the side, you'll see another little hole down there that you'll never cover with your finger, and there'll be one on both sides, and it's called a tone hole. On the regular length ones, at that point is typically where they cut it off. So this regular one doesn't have the tone holes, it's just got the bottom. Another thing you want to look for, Delrin's a good material because it can handle the heat. It can fall off a table on the ceramic tile. It's not going to break. It's also a lot less expensive. The difference in price between a regular and the long only gives you about that much more plastic, is usually around $20 to $30. In the case of a Gibson, I usually sell the regular Gibson for $50 and the long Gibson for $70, and then you can spend more if you want ornamentation on that. Things you want to look for on it, again, the name brand. You also want to, if you notice the holes, I'm going to take a regular chanter. This is the chanter that would come from a set of regular pipes. You'll notice the holes are a lot bigger on this one, and on the practice chanter, if I can turn it the right way, you'll notice they're countersunk. The actual hole that goes all the way through is very small, and you'd never be able to feel that. So they countersink them so that you can feel them. Another thing, if you'll notice, is the holes pretty much line up with the regular chanter. That is very important because as you're learning, a lot of it is muscle memory, and the muscle memory not only being which finger to lift, but how far to spread them to cover the holes. If you have a chanter that's got all the holes up here or has some odd spacing, and then you get ready to go to the regular pipes, you'll pick up the regular chanter and you'll have to change the spacing. It's now a whole new instrument. So, and all that muscle memory is of less use to you than if you had it correct. So make sure the practice chanter matches the holes on a regular pipe chanter. But the only time that would not be the case would be for a small child, and this happens to be a McCallum child's chanter, and the hole spacings are much, much closer. In fact, they're close enough that I find it difficult to play on it. Okay, you want the chanter to sound good. Even though it's a practice instrument, there's no reason for the scale to be totally off and to sound horrible. This is the one that I use. It happens to be a Gibson, and it is wood on the bottom. But the scale is going to be okay. Nice bold sound, good scale on that one. This is a Dunbar, which is another very well-known, well-respected, good practice chanter. Lots of people use these. They're very good. Okay, very clear notes, very good on that one. One of the reasons you want to get what your instructor suggests, and I've only got about 2 minutes here left, is because other people that he's teaching or she's teaching are going to be around the practice chanter table with you in all likelihood, and they want yours to match theirs so that they're all tuned together. It's not uncommon for the two practice chanters, a Dunbar and a Gibson, to sound good by themselves, but if you put them together, we'll see how this sounds. Okay, those are both high A's, but they're not in tune. So there's that aspect of it. Get online, get on Bob Dunshire, ask your instructor. If you don't have an instructor, get an instructor. But things you want to look for, just to recap it real quick, you want poly or Delrin is on there as much as possible. You want countersunk holes so you can feel them. You want the hole spacing to match a regular practice chanter, and you want it to have a nice, true tone and pleasing tone to it, and preferably that it matches anybody else you may be playing with at the same time. $50 to $70 should get you a very good practice chanter, and then books are on top of that.